All right, so BlizzCon took place, and um, it was, it was the first in-person BlizzCon in a while. I've been to BlizzCon. It's a pretty cool community event. Like, if you're into Blizzard games and things like Warcraft and stuff, it's awesome. But if you're not into that sort of thing, then all the news coming out of it would be not essentially, all that interesting. But what they did announce was that Diablo 4 is getting its first major expansion next year, late next year. It's called Vessel of Hatred. And it's going to have a new region, which is based on Diablo 2's jungle location. And Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, is going to be the main villain, and it's going to continue the cinematic story of the campaign. This is kind of cool because traditionally, like if you look at Diablo 3, it was like 2 years before they got to the Reaper of Souls expansion. Okay. And Diablo 2 was, and Diablo 1, like they all just had like one major expansion. The difference here is that Blizzard are saying that there's probably going to be annual expansions. So they're going to do major expansions like this annually, which will be super interesting for the game because this will obviously it's going to introduce a brand new class never before seen in Diablo. That's all they've said. They haven't really shown what it is. Leaks are saying that it's going to be some sort of angelic sort of like class, which will be kind of cool with like wings, and you might even be like, some like flight sort of like attacks and
probably
skills,
be a caster of some kind if it's going to be angelic.
Yeah. And then they announced that like, there's more seasonal content. So Diablo's the first season, which was a few months ago, which came straight after launch, wasn't all that great. It was kind of like, well, people kind of just moved on. But the new season 2, the vampire season, is really, really cool. And, the game is in a good place now. So there's going to be a season 3 early next year. And there'll be a season 4 and a season 5. And like each of these seasons is going to introduce new content. They've expanded the end game. And so, and that's all going to lead up to an expansion. So it seems that like they're full steam ahead. Like basically, by the sounds of it, Diablo a year from now will be a very different game.
Very
Diablo
cool.
4, and then a year after that will be a very different game.
Which
is kind of cool. And the other major announcement was that World of Warcraft is getting 3 more expansions. It's going to be like a trilogy.
I saw this. I saw a video on this. Where is the World of Warcraft story? I had it up here.
The Worldsoul Saga.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
And one of them is like you go back to where? It's like I remember seeing, I think it was Asmongold. He was like, because he's very big in World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, Asmund is like
he's the
basically an internet staple.
Yeah.
How can you browse YouTube without seeing at least one Asmund video?
That's it. And you got to watch it, of course. You have to watch it.
I guess that like the cool thing with WoW is that Chris Metzen, who's a Blizzard veteran, right? He was like instrumental in developing the original World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3. He wrote the story for Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 2. He was instrumental in Diablo 3's kind of like story as well, and he was instrumental in Overwatch's the lore of Overwatch and the world of Overwatch. So he left Blizzard before Overwatch launched. So we're looking at like before 2016.
Yeah.
So he's come back to Blizzard like a year ago or a bit longer, and so he's essentially kind of like executive in charge of Warcraft, sort of thing. He's not like the game director anymore, but he's like basically working to like, I guess, shape the franchise or whatever the case is. And so he came out on the stage and he announced like 3 expansions.
Yeah.
And apparently that was his decision. Like, he said, "Look, we're going to go big." Like, the team was like, "Well, it's a lot of this is still like in flux." He goes, "No, let's just lock it down. It's going to be this saga, and it's going to cover like 3 games, and it's going to be like an end with like the Titans and all this sort of like lore stuff." So it is pretty exciting that it's now 20. That next year is the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So 20 years, and it looks like it's about to get like a very exciting refresh in terms of story and lore and expansions.
And so what, do we have a timeline between these games, or is it... the first one is The War Within.
Yeah, so the War Within will be next year.
Right.
And then there'll be World of Warcraft Midnight and then World of Warcraft The Last Titan. They didn't give dates, but they said that they're going to come out quicker than what people are used to. So the cadence for WoW expansion is like every 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was about to say.
So with these three, it'll be like, I think, bang, 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 like 1 year. So it's going to be like Diablo 4, like where they're just going to do expansions every year.
I hope they're not half-baked, though, because WoW players, like...
No, I know.
They are notorious for being like, oh, there is a new expansion. Blizzard's done something different with this one. Yeah, we're going to all come back. And then they come back and they play it for like a week. And then they get to the end game. And then they're like, this is garbage. Oh, I can't believe they've done this. I hate Blizzard. And then they all leave. All of them leave.
And then they all come back.
Yeah, then they all come back. So maybe they are going for like that yearly rollout to keep the players there.
Or maybe they're going to like just roll it out like more piecemeal, which is always like I like when it comes to like expansions, like, you know, like with the Diablo, I want a major expansion, like a whole new zone, new class, like a bunch of new items, like
that's what you want.
Every class. New story. Like, you don't want
reset the level cap.
You don't want like, you know, like, oh, this season is going to introduce chapter 1 of the story, and then 3 months later you're going to get chapter 2, and then 3 months later you're going to get a new class, and then, you know, like if it's just spread out piecemeal.
Yeah.
Like the seasonal live service model. Like, I don't like, for seasonal content, sure, it's fine. Like with the, you know, the vamp, like you have like incentive to come back, but an expansion needs to be like huge, right?
It needs to feel like a new game.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what they used to be, right? Like, you know, you got Warcraft, like, you know, like Blizzard, like they're experts of it, like, you know, StarCraft, and then you got Brood War, which was like, it was a sequel essentially, right? You had 3 new campaigns, you had new units, it was like, and then Warcraft 2 had its expansion, you had Warcraft 3's expansion, like Diablo 2's expansion, even Diablo 3's expansion, which changed the game. Yeah, like they all just feel like new games, and if And WoW's done it as well, like, you know, where they add a whole bunch of stuff. So if it doesn't feel as substantial and they release them quicker, then that's not, like, you know, the best scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And if they don't feel like full games, WoW players will do exactly what they've been doing this entire time. They'll boycott it, they won't play it. And then they'll just wait for the next one. And obviously they'll buy that and play it. So I really hope that, these feel distinct, and they also keep the player base happy for at least until the next one comes out. I hope definitely. So. I hope so. I mean, I'm not a WoW player. I prefer my RuneScape, but I have played an expansion. I played the what is the one where everything went green? I think it was Legion. Legion, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I played Legion. Got ahead of the curve achievement.
Yeah, I mean, like, that has its community. Like, I mean, the other thing about BlizzCon was that this is the first BlizzCon event where they are a part of Xbox and Microsoft. So Blizzard is now like owned by Microsoft.
Yeah.
No longer under the direction of the Activision board, or, you know, telling them what to do, or, you know, make money above all, or whatever the case is. So Xbox head Phil Spencer actually took the stage at BlizzCon. So this is like fresh. So, like, you know, $69 billion they've bought Activision Blizzard, which includes Blizzard that makes Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, StarCraft. That's a big part of the purchase, right?
Oh,
you're
buying
these like franchises that are worth a lot of money.
Got the old Spence on stage.
Yeah, so Spence took the stage, and he said it was his first BlizzCon, but, you know, he said, we will nurture the essence of what makes Blizzard unique. The future of Blizzard is brighter than ever. He even name-dropped StarCraft, which makes everybody always excited because...
I need it.
Yeah, he's like, you know, think of Diablo. It propelled the action RPG genre forward. StarCraft spawned the foundation for what esports would eventually become. StarCraft 2 was a major catalyst for games. You know, World of Warcraft. You know, he name dropped like all the big things that Blizzard is doing, or most of them anyway. And outside of that, so the current Blizzard president, this is like something that a lot of people don't factor in, is that there's a lot of Xbox talent at Blizzard. So the current Blizzard president, Mike Ibarra, he was at Microsoft for ages, right? He was actually a key part of the Xbox team in developing the Xbox One X and moving away from Kinect and like the disastrous Xbox One launch. And he was like a big Xbox. He worked directly under Phil Spencer, and so like he left to join Blizzard, and then obviously the acquisition happened. So, you know, they already have this like close working relationship, and apparently there was a report by Jason Schreier at Bloomberg where Phil Spencer went and like the Xbox, you know, the main team went to Blizzard Studios or in Irvine, California, pretty much just before BlizzCon or like a couple of weeks before. And, you know, the Warcraft team were expecting that they would have to show like, you know, PowerPoint presentations of what their plans are for the next decade. You know, if the executives of this kind of sounds like, you know, this is what they're used to, like under Activision, is that if you're the head of general manager of Warcraft and the the Activision executive is coming to visit, you have to show them like this is what
10 years of plans.
This is our retention, blah blah blah. And apparently Phil Spencer and the team said, "Guys, look, we don't care about any of that. We just want to know what you want to do and how can we help."
Yeah, it's because Microsoft has that fat bag. That's what they have.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, we don't care about your retention. We have trillions of dollars. Don't worry about that. And we just want good games.
Exactly. And in Mike Ibarra, you know, when like they asked him, like, okay, because everybody's, you know, Phil Spencer is talking about StarCraft, and then he's like, it's like I'm not going to go tell the teams go make StarCraft because I want to see StarCraft. Is that if a team comes to me with that vision to make a new StarCraft, then we will support it 100%. So it's like, you know, like they're going to greenlight like good ideas for good games.
Oh man,
and
so exciting!
And it could be a return for like, you know, classic Blizzard of just making games for this, you know, that are just great games, as opposed to, you know, in recent years it's all just been
Activision's money.
It's like, you know, the monetization stuff, you know, loot boxes, like they've just been like in the headlines for all that sort of stuff. You know, Diablo Immortal, the mobile game.
Oh
where, you know, remember there was those YouTube, you know, where people were looking, you have to spend $40,000 just to get best item. You know, remember all that sort of stuff? Like,
yeah. Oh boy, no, this is a very exciting time if you're a Blizzard fan. Hopefully, Xbox hits it out of the park with whatever they release next, because Blizzard fans are going to get very excited about what is being said here, and with that, expectations go up. And you know, Blizzard hasn't been in the good graces of their fan base for a long time, so it would be almost like a breath of fresh air for the company and the fans themselves if they just roll out like home run after home run after home run. That would be great. It's like old Blizzard is back with just banger after banger games. No, it's a very exciting time.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I know. That's what I want to see. Like, I just want to see like proper, where it's not just about, you know, monthly active user retention or whatever metrics.
Yeah, and how many loot boxes they've sold. No, that's great. It's great to hear. I'm very excited for the future of that. I'm a big fan of Blizzard and their content, and their games. I think it's just incredible what they can put together. I've been calling. I'm not even like I said, not even a WoW player, but the cinematics that they've released for those games, even the ones that are like 10 years old, they still stand as like some of the best gaming cinematics I've ever seen ever. And I'm like, now that Xbox money is behind Blizzard, make a movie. Just make a movie about it. Stop making the game.
Just
make a movie.
The cinematics team, the cinematics team needs to just make a movie. Like it's like the Warcraft cinematics look like. What about, remember when Diablo 4 was announced? The Diablo 4 announcement cinematic where they're like in the cave and then Lilith comes down with a blood thingo, and then it's just like the
unbelievable.
Imagine you had like a movie that was that.
Oh, it would take him probably 10 years to make, but
but do it.
Make it, please. Every WoW player is begging you for a WoW dedicated. It doesn't even have to be WoW. It could just be Warcraft. Like it could just be.
I mean, they made a Warcraft movie. Remember? I mean, that was obviously
Travis Fimmel was in it, but like it was at Shout Out.
It was okay.
It was okay, but it was for WoW players.
Yes,
Like that
was just fan service. A lot of it.
It was fan service. I mean, and the cinematic piece that we're asking for would definitely be fan service, but it would look incredible. Oh boy, it would be the best. All right.